No, but it's because like when you talk, you hear your own voice echoing around like inside your head, and that's what you're really hearing, you know?
I figured that's the case. For reference, audience, we were just coming from a conversation.
You don't have to do it for reference. Like every show does like a cold open where it's like, oh, we're just having a conversation and now you get to hear it.
But they came like right at like the middle of it. Like,
Yeah, that's the point. You want them to be like, oh wait, what am I listening to? This is so interesting. I have to figure out what they're talking about now. It's marketing 101, man.
okay, friggin' what's up, everybody? We're back with our next episode of Five Guts Podcast. Uh, if you don't know who this is, then you're in luck because you're not gonna know in this one either. So anyway, as I was saying though, freaking every time I hear myself on any mic or anytime I'm medium, it always ends up like sounding like completely different. I know that's not like a crazy thing, but like when we do these recordings, out of everyone here, I swear to you, I'm the only one that sounds like I'm like not me because like I look back on it and then I sound like an actual white dude.
Your voice sounded like exactly how I hear you, like on PlayStation and like real life, but that's just me.
Same, yeah.
See, on PlayStation I get because again, but like real life, I feel like I sound like a little, I don't know, a little more deeper. Yeah, freaking whatever. Any you guys have plans for the New Year's? I know we talked about Christmas last time, but everyone's not doing that. So what about next year? What's some resolutions?
Just getting money, man. We're getting money in 2022.
Yeah, get some bread.
Actually, I can relate to that. I'm going for an internship, starting January. Well, actually, an internship fair, and I'm going to get one for a job. I'm trying to get one for a systems administrator. So hopefully that goes well because one, I've never went to an internship before. Two, I never did one virtually. So that's gonna be fun.
Go in with nothing but optimism.
Yep.
I feel like that's
if they turn you down, it's their loss.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I never actually like did a legit resume. Like I remember doing a resume way back in like middle school, like just like a pre-test. But like nowadays is like I don't know how it actually goes.
Yeah, I mean it's difficult. I mean, well, you've had other like jobs and stuff before, though, right?
Listen, the only job I've had is a concierge and a waiter, and
Okay.
the reason I got those
the whole
jobs.
point of a resume, the whole idea of what you're supposed to do on a resume is lie. I mean, not lie, but like stretch the truth. Like whatever you did, you have to make it sound 10 times more difficult and interesting than it actually was.
Yeah, you're pretty much selling yourself to the person.
Oh yeah, I understand.
Right.
I understand the fact that I'm selling myself, but it's just like I know there's like some sort of format that it has to be. You can't just be like listing like a whole paragraph of all your feats, right?
No, you use bullet points, but I mean, you can just look up examples. It's not that hard.
Yeah, and also another thing I always thought was like I also know that you have to. It has like the stuff the feat you're trying to like sell has to be relevant. You can't just like list off.
Not necessarily.
I me being like I was a black belt for 6 years running. It's not going to be relevant to system administration.
Right, but it's still something you can like if it's your first job in that field, obviously you're not going to have anything relevant. So they just want to see that you're not like sitting on your ass all day.
But I figure if you went to like school, that would at least count more.
I got my first job using like Taekwondo stuff. Like I wrote about all the stuff like the charity events and stuff like that. Because remember, you did some of that too, and you can just write about that in your resume, and it counts for something,
Because like I always think to myself, like these guys, like these are people who go through like 1,000 candidates. What are they going to care about me being able to punch a board if I don't know how to like run a database?
Well, I mean, you have the education to back it up too, so.
Well, now I have the education to back it up. Like back then,
it's the whole like Taekwondo stuff, for example, is just kind of like an extra point to fill in some space in it Like, I don't know if I'd put in like breaking boards, but like you could say like the wrench and river days because we helped out there. What else? There's a bunch. I don't remember. That was so long ago.
Just
But
if you had like any responsibilities or anything that you were expected to do on a consistent basis, like that'd be good to put in.
yeah,
I figure I'm gonna get around to it. Also, good news. I signed up for my scuba diving course, and I'll be taking my test in January.
That soon?
Yep.
How long is like what do you do in the course?
So what they usually do is that after you get them paying the fee that costs an arm and a leg, they
Of course, yeah.
the Patty, the overseers of like all scuba diving, they send you your stuff and you do an e-learning course. And then what they want you to do is you need to finish that before you come into a test for your actual gear.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and what that test ensues is that they go you a private pool for 3 days, and then after that you go out to the lake and you do an open water dive.
And they just tell you like, hey, don't die, or like go find things.
Well, of course you'll be like accompanied by an instructor, but you go out to the dive to like learn stuff that they taught you in the pool, like hand signs or how to do when say your mask break and you're like 10 feet underwater or something like that.
Yeah, so it's about just like making sure that like safety protocols, that kind of stuff.
Pretty much.
Okay.
I actually wanted to ask you about that.
Well, good job. You missed your chance.
No, I mean, oh shit, what the fuck? No, I just wanted to ask you, like, when you just like actually like, are you gonna get paid to do that? Like, what specifically, like, when you go on dives, what is like the objective of it? I would say.
So once you get past like the introductory courses, like open water dive and advanced water dive, like these are all like separate licenses that you can pass. Once you get past those two, then you can start going for the ones that like have a form of a profession to them, like scavenger hunting or wreckage dives. But other than that, you can also test to be a dive master or an instructor, and then you get paid by the organization to teach others.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
Or you can be a contract diver in case someone like, hey, my car is underwater and there's something special in it. I need you to go down there and get it for me. You know what I'm talking about? Like stuff like that.
Bro, I got like an ounce of weed in my truck. I need you to go dive and get it.
And like no, and you can charge them for like like how much you think it would cost to get that dive, or how hard it is to get to where the car dropped. Like, oh, it dropped at the freaking Atlantic Ocean.
I follow a guy on YouTube who does that. He records his own like deep diving excursions, if that's the term. But he just found, I'm sure you guys saw the headline, but he just found 2 missing teenagers. Well, they were teenagers at the time, but 20 years ago they went missing because their car veered off into a lake in Mississippi, I think it was.
Huh.
But they found him just by diving. Car was covered in like moss, because it's been sitting at the bottom of the lake, of course. But you should record that. I would say get a GoPro just because they're waterproof.
I always see those videos about like these people who like rescue like these divers who rescue.
They find murder
people
weapons
that are,
too.
like,
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
They'll find people, people who just throw, when they're driving by the lake, throw a gun or incriminating evidence like a clip or a bullet or whatever it is, or a casing. It's interesting. I would definitely say do that because I have not found anyone who does that in the state of Washington. And we have, like, Lake Washington is huge. I'm sure there's something you could find interesting at the bottom of Lake Washington. Maybe a car.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. I always have this like fancy dive. When I go diving, I'm gonna find freaking buried treasure or like gold doubloons and freaking make it out rich. But I'm like, I'm sure if anything, everyone's who came before me already found all that stuff. Now we're just diving into like find other shit, like I don't know, a lost pocket watch or a lost ring.
You get a magnet. That's what the guys I follow on YouTube. They just throw magnets in the water, then they'll dive in if they can't pull it out.
There's actually a license for like magnet hunting, like for like underwater.
Yeah.
You have to get licensed for that? Like if you do it without a license, do you get arrested?
Yeah, you get in trouble because technically, depending on what who owns that part of the water, you're trespassing.
You can probably just do it as long as you just don't make it look obvious what you're doing. How would anyone know? Not
Actually, who's gonna tell on you?
yeah, who's gonna
Yeah.
tell you? Just do it.
Well, this is I don't know. Maybe it's something like my dad lived in England for a while, and in England, I don't know if it's still true, but at least at that time, I think it's still true that you had to have a license to have a TV. And,
Really?
Yeah, yeah. And if you don't have a license, like this happened to him one time, the police came knocking. Like, mate, you got a license for that TV?
What's the punishment for that? Like actual
Just like a
jail
small
time or just
fine
a
or
fine?
something.
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably just like a small fine, but
You get no TV. Or
I don't know how they figure out that you don't have a license for your TV. That seems.
Did he say if that was like a specific part of England or was that like all?
No, it was all of England. Yeah,
I'd
more
never
so,
heard
how
that
does
before.
one get a license to get a TV?
you apply for it.
You apply,
Or they sell it to you with the TV.
Wait, what?
Hey man, now you just spent $1,500 on this flat screen, but I got to get you for the license. Can't live without it. Otherwise, you got to put the TV back.
so basically a warranty.
Yeah,
That's
just the
basically what
ones
it-
like Best Buy tells
Pretty
you.
much.
Basically what it is.
Except you can't leave. Like Best Buy, you can say, "Oh no, I'm good. I don't want the 2-year protection." But, you have to get this, otherwise you're not leaving.
Oh my god.
I've never heard that.
It's funny,
before.
like if Best Buy had like armed guards that like you're like, nah, man, I don't need the warranty. I'm good. You sure about that?
Yeah, like, yeah, buddy. I think you need the warranty.
The fucking Geek Squad Mafia.
Yeah, the Geek Squad's just sitting outside the front. So if you get past the armed guards, the Geek Squad's waiting for you. If you get to your car,
Oh my god. But
that's crazy.
but going back to the topic of like getting a job or like an internship, mostly I feel like I feel like
I'd avoid an internship if you can, just because most of them are unpaid.
yeah
Yeah, never take an unpaid internship. That's some
Just the
bullshit.
first part.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
that was the idea. I'm just looking for
My personal opinion. You do what you want, of course, but I just think internships are stupid unless they're paying you. I feel like they should pay you something for your time
I feel like you should be paid like
under the guise of experience. They shouldn't just say,
yeah,
"Oh
because
yeah,
you're
here
technically
for the
working
experience."
for a business, a corporation, which technically makes you an employee. So it's
Yeah,
You're
like
not
utilize
technically
it,
working.
just
You
like an
are
employee.
working.
You're working.
you have you are working. It's like regardless of what they got you working about, you're still working there. So technically you should be treated like an employee.
Yeah, if anyone's trying to get you to sign up for like an unpaid internship, that's just a scam so they can get free work.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good off that. Freaking. But yeah, I feel like it's about high time I start looking at because I've been in school for like my whole life, and like that's no exaggeration. Like
I would take your time getting into a job. It's a very overrated. I'm sure everyone here who works can agree it's overrated.
Man,
I would not.
It's like-
You don't have to. Just take your time. Do not rush into it.
Absolutely,
Once you
yeah.
get into it, you're just gonna be like, "Damn, should have took my time."
man,
You're like,
that's
this is
why
why everybody's so unhappy. Fuck.
Yeah, exactly. This is why.
I don't know. I feel like I'm at that point where
Every
it's like,
time.
my wife needs some type of purpose, some type of like aim. School
It's
just kind
good
of
in that. It's good in that aspect where it's like, okay, it's something to do with your time. Like I know there's a lot of older people who will like pick up a job at like a grocery store or something just because
I used to
they
work with
don't
a
want
lot
to
of
sit inside
people
all
like
day. Yeah, but it also I feel like working 40 hours a week, like a full-time job or whatever, it made me kind of realize a little bit more like a lot of stuff that might have been going on with my parents, like why they were so tired or why they were whatever the way they were. I'm like, oh, okay, this is it. It makes sense now.
now, see,
It sounds enticing when you're younger because it's like, oh man, I work 40
I
hours a
was
week.
about to say that. I was about to say that.
I can just use all the money for what I want. Then it's like, oh well, if you get a car, now you have to pay for insurance, you have to pay for maintenance, you have to pay for gas, and it's like a rabbit hole.
Yeah,
It's not what it looks like on the outside.
man,
It's,
I was about to say the
crazy.
exact same thing too. Cause freaking when you're, I can still remember back to those times where I was young and I was like, man, doing nothing is nice. I don't have to go to school. I don't have to do homework. I
Yeah.
don't have to do anything. But then now you spend now you get like a good 4 or 5 months of that from like summer vacation, and now you want something to do, and then you come back to school, and then you get the whole I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go back to doing nothing, and then that happens for like 4 or 5 times. And at that point, now it's like I don't want to do nothing. I just want to keep doing something because it's like you just want to keep moving. Or like better yet, when you like, oh, I have no money or you have an allowance, stuff like that. I can only pay for like certain things. I want that new gaming console, but it costs 600. I only got 200, and I gotta be on my hands and knees and for my parents to get money. But now when you're an adult and you actually have to work for your money, now you're a lot more conservative. You don't want to spend money because now you know I gotta work for more money, get more time out there.
When you get your first job, those first few paychecks, those are kind of just for like bullshit. Like you could buy whatever with those ones.
Yeah.
Man, I wish if I had hindsight, I wish I would have saved every allowance I had.
Oh yeah. If I could see into the future and all that stuff, like I would have saved so much money as a kid. I would have been like, why do I need to? How much money did I spend on like Yu-Gi-Oh cards? You know, I'm like, it's just shiny pieces of cardboard.
But that new Pokemon game is looking pretty nice though. or that new
Delete Aaron from the chat.
that was back.
He's helping us get our Nintendo sponsorship. It's okay. We love Pokemon. Pokemon is so good.
Bro, the newest Pokemon is nice. It's coming out. Love it. But new stuff. Everyone's attracted to new stuff. Like a cat to shiny stuff, shiny things. Just so it's like it's understandable how like I spent my whole money on his PS5, and now I want to use it for like watching DVDs and in like Netflix.
I feel like the most depressing part, just while we're still kind of on work, since I'm 25, turning 26 in April, I tend to think about 20 because I've been alive for 25 years, and sometimes I just think I have to do this for another, God willing, another 30, maybe 40 years. And that to me, just I don't know. That makes me think like, I'm tired now. Maybe
I got you.
Well, I'm sure everyone who works can relate, but I'm just me being 25 now. I'm just like, God, can I really do this? Am I really like physically gonna be able to do this? And I don't have like a physically demanding kind of job. It's just like the waking up. I'm not a morning person, so like just waking up and like commuting and then leaving work and then being there for 10 to 11 hours sometimes. It's just like, oh, I'm gonna have to do this for a long time. Like,
do you plan
really
on doing
long
this
time.
for the rest of your time, or do you plan on like moving somewhere else in the job?
I'll probably move in like different positions, but like what I do, like I like cars, so I'll try and stick to like that the building I'm in, like where I physically work. I'd like to work there.
Oh, okay,
if I could work there for the rest of my life, I
Nice.
totally would.
Malcolm getting the freaking why am I even getting up anymore?
No, I'm trying not to get to that point, but we all get there sometimes. We're just like, man,
It's starting to
Almost there.
10 more
it's starting
years
to
of this.
sink in.
10 years from now we'll be 35, and it's like
Depression's
that's not
kicking in.
even. Oh my God.
That's not even a dent in your life.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not even a dent. Like, I mean, yeah, it's 30 years, but like you really didn't start like adulting until like 18. So like I don't even consider the first 18 years of your life as like real life experience. Like you learn a lot and you experience a lot, but just like I think it all really starts. Like everything really matters when you turn 18.
See,
Yeah.
bro, don't be.
I
thinking
think my
about
personal
that.
opinion.
Don't be thinking because that's how you start beginning those sluggish hours because you be thinking about the future.
Oh no, like I
Right.
get up still. I just think like, man,
I
like,
get up, but god dang that
Wish I didn't.
I don't know.
I
know if
wish
you
I
guys have
didn't get
heard
up.
I don't know if you guys have heard this quote. It's from an author, Bukowski. I haven't ever read anything by him. I just know the quote. I also know he was like a serious misogynist or something, but whatever. While we're on the topic of work, he has this pretty famous quote that's I just found it online. How in the hell could a man enjoy being awakened at 8:30 a.m., buy an alarm clock, leap out of bed, dress, force feed, shit, piss, brush teeth and
Thank you.
hair, and fight traffic to get to a place where essentially you made lots of money for somebody else and were asked to be grateful for the opportunity to do so?
Good point. I could not agree more. I literally could not agree more.
if
Yeah,
you
that's like my whole feelings toward the entire thing. This is happy.
It's a scam. It's a cycle. They trick you with this guise of independence. Like, oh, you get to work for your own money, and you'll have this heightened sense of accomplishment because you work X amount of hours under the week and you have all those hours under your belt. It's like, no, I'm okay staying home and, just walking around outside or, taking a road trip. I'm okay doing that. I don't need to work to feel accomplished. I can find other ways to feel accomplished besides working.
At the same time, though, like when I first moved to Birmingham, where I'm at now, I didn't have a job for a couple months. I was living with my sister, and like a lot of what I was doing basically was going on long walks during the day and drinking at night. It was like, this isn't fun. Like, I need something to do to fill my time.
Yeah, to that sense, hobbies, of course, like finding hobbies and then like, finding purpose too, because it's like, I can't, as nice as it does sound to sleep in every day, I don't want to sleep in every day, but there's days where I would like to sleep in. And just the choice to like, if I have the choice to sleep in today, or if I want to go into work, or if I want to, go downtown and just dick around or whatever.
Oh my!
Like I just the choice and the freedom.
All about productivity.
Yeah, I think the whole thing that's bad about it is just being at home. Like not having to work isn't really that bad, but not having to work and not having any money is very bad.
Yep, that's worse. I'll take working than being broke because I hated being broke before I had a job. Couldn't afford anything. I had to take the bus everywhere. Basically, had to plan 2 hours beforehand your entire day, then 2 hours afterwards. Like, I don't even know how I'm going to get home today, but I'm going to do something.
Man, being broke is crazy.
I don't regret it, though. You have fun. There's plenty of good memories to make from it.
I have fun being broke.
Very fun. Yeah, I have very fun memories.
I mean, there's like a charm to it when you're young.
Yeah, when you're young.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, when you're young. Yeah. I have very
someone
fun
else
memories
providing
of being
for
broke.
And if you're 20 and have like no money and no job, you're depressed at that point. You're not having fun.
Yeah.
So
Oh, no, I meant like 17, having only $20 and like, I'm going to meet my friends at the mall. We're going to be at the mall the entire day.
Oh
that's
my
awesome.
God.
Yeah, that's great. Like, I feel like it was easier to have fun not spending money when we were like 15, 16 around then. Now it's like, I don't have any money. I'm not going out. Like, what am I going to do?
Especially after you fill your gas tank up. Like, I'm especially not going anywhere. I just filled my damn tank up. I'm not going anywhere. I just filled this up.
Man, who remembers all when you were a teenager? Back before it didn't become a freaking shooting range.
Yeah, Marcus, I don't know if you know, but South Center has become a literal shooting range now. I don't know if you've seen any, like,
pretty crazy.
I haven't. I know there's a mall around here. Why am I forgetting the name of it right now? But it's a similar thing. I think it's a Galleria where it's just like there's been a good amount of shootings in recent memory.
Like it's fucked up when it's like a shooting happens in a mall, but no one cares. Like people are just still like just doing their stuff. Like, oh, mall's closed today. I'll just come back tomorrow. Some guy.
I mean, I feel like that's also just like our country.
Starbucks card like cleared, so he shopped the mall instead.
Just being desensitized.
Well, I guess I don't remember the first time I heard about like a school shooting, but I remember, it was shocking at first, and then years later, it's just kind of like, that was just some stuff that was kind of happening a lot for a few years.
Yeah, for real.
It's like when that shooting happened at the one at the movie theater during the Batman movies. Like,
yeah,
I mean, it's bad, but I'm still going to the movies.
I remember after like the week after that, I had tickets with my dad and I to go see The Dark Knight. That was the worst theater experience I ever had. I was literally just like, I was sitting down, but like, when you're sitting down, you're pretty much prepared to get up. I was like that the entire movie. I couldn't even enjoy the movie. It was a good movie. But I was just thinking, like, I mean, that was like being a kid, in high school when there's a school shooting. You're thinking the day after it happens and you have to go to school, you're thinking this is going to happen here because, it's all so real. And like it actually just happened when you think, oh, this never happens. And it happens again. Then it happens again. And then, you're in a public environment or a public setting where, something like that could very easily happen. It just freaks you out the day after, but then afterwards you're just like, oh, like Marcus said, it's just some things that happen.
Actually, I got a story for something that's very similar. So when I was at school, hold on. So when I was at school,
like it's not supposed to happen.
Sorry about that. Don't know what the fuck that happened. Anyway. Back at the topic of like school shootings.
Interesting way to start.
So
we hate those, by the way. We hate.
Oh, yeah, we
school
hate
shootings,
those.
just for
We hate
anyone who
those.
didn't hear that part.
I'm
That's
just
not
saying.
Not
a
a fan.
clickbaity title. Back on the topic of school shootings.
So one time, when I was on my way class to college, I was in between classes because I had a morning class and then an afternoon class. So I went back to my car to kind of just like chill. And when I woke back up, the whole parking lot was like empty. Like before I was asleep, there was like a ton of cars. And I wake up, it was just me. So I'm thinking like, oh shoot, I guess all right, I guess everyone was left because it was actually an evening class, one of those like 5 to 7, and it was like winter, so that it was dark. So I'm on my way walking to class on the campus until I get like a text from one of my classmates saying, "Yo, like, what happened at school was crazy." I'm like, "What?" Like, wait a second, what? Like, I text them, "What happened?" It's like she asked me where are you, and I'm like, I'm on school, and then she sends me like the school's like, like how the school like sends me those like text message notices about like I don't know, the power's out or it's winter or something like that. They sent a text saying that the school got closed because a shooter was seen on campus running through.
I think I remember hearing about this.
So
yeah.
I don't know how much time has passed since that happened, but enough. I guess it was enough time because there was no one on campus when I was walking by. So I'm thinking to myself, wait a second.
Turns out I was the shooter all along.
So I just like
Nobody saw you in your car and knocked on the window?
No, I was just knocked out of my car, like my seat like reclined and everything, just like kind of sleeping, waiting for my next class.
They got you fucked up.
Bro, they left me out there. No one said, "Are you all right? Hey, get out. We gotta go."
Oh, yeah.
I'm like halfway.
They're probably like, well, the shooter's gonna skip you because you're already passed out. They got well, never mind. Let me not speak on what a shooter's gonna do. Continue.
I was really the only car in like the whole parking lot. So like I'm walking, I get the text, I'm reading it. Halfway through the text, I heard like school shut down. Like, oh, I'm turning right back around. So I didn't sprint, but I kind of like fast walked it back to my car because at that point I was getting nervous because like no one's here. What if he's still here? So I get to my car, and I'm hustling.
Wait, you got out of your car?
I got out of my car and I was walking towards my class. I was halfway through the campus by the time.
And that's when you got the text?
That's when I got the text. When I was like in the middle of the campus.
Holy shit, dude!
Because like
yeah, I would have just left. I wouldn't have.
I'd be terrified.
Yeah, for real.
Because to me it wasn't abnormal to like not see a lot of cars because like afternoon cars, like now people have afternoon classes and most people are not walking around at that time. So I'm like, okay, it's probably just like the handful of people left that have night classes. And I'm like, oh shit. So I got out of my car and just like left camp and then it's like hightailed it out of there. Fucking laughing to myself like, oh my god, I could have got myself killed just because I went to sleep. What do we caught me lacking?
I always see a big deal with like stand-up comedians. I see this joke a lot with like school shooters, and they'll be like, well, why does it matter if the school shooter is there or not? Because like, when they do the drills and they do like the lockdown drills, it's like they'll say like, oh, well, the shooter's there too, he's gonna know where everyone is. And it's like, I think the whole point is like not that they shouldn't, like, why are they even having, because I feel like we should be a country where you just get desensitized, where you just turn on the TV and you're like, oh man, it happened again. Because it literally did, like last week, like 2 times in like the last couple of months there was a school shooting. Like I think, what was the last one? It was either last week or 2 weeks ago. That younger kid, I think he was 15 or 16, shot 3 people. I know 3 died. I don't know the exact numbers, but it's just so normal.
Well,
you guys shouldn't even be like that shouldn't even be like the butt of the joke. It shouldn't be like, oh well, like haha, like what, like, don't you know the school shooter is there? Like, I think the fact that there is school shootings and it's so common here, like that should be the joke. I'm not trying to tell stand-up comedians what to write, and it's their material, and do as you want. But I don't know. I just think the point where it's like, it's so common that stand-up comedians are just so lax about, not even stand-up comedians, like everyone, like we're all able, just so comfortable to joke about it. And I get it. It's American culture at this point.
Yeah, you gotta realize, like, freaking we, like, our whole country is 40% based off guns. Like we literally have a rule about people having the right to bear arms. So
Because
it's like but you still gotta teach the kids like if there's someone with a gun, you gotta look as vulnerable as possible to show that you're not a threat, so they don't shoot you. So that's why we still have those like drills about like don't be seen near a window or keep your head down or stay away from like big areas. Because like who knows?
Well,
maybe it's like a crazy person, not just some kid who failed a math class.
While we're talking about, while you just mentioned the right to bear arms, what is the logical argument as to why we can't just update it? I'm not saying all of it because
Because the rules are not supposed to be,
I don't
like,
know enough
changed.
about the concept.
Old
to say
paper
it.
can't be moved.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that's right. Okay, that's right.
It's-
Old paper can't be moved. That's right.
What is that?
I don't know. I just made that shit up.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
Quote.
I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know like every single like law, but it's like I'm sure it's because like old rules are not meant to be changed so easily. Because like,
But slavery was part of the Constitution.
Look how long that took for it to like just barely be like come off.
And the right to bear arms was that. I mean, I'm pretty sure automatic weapons
Because that's
weren't a thing when that was made. What were they? That's a question I'm seriously asking. I don't
No,
think so.
they weren't.
like when the amendments were made.
Yeah, I think the logic there. Okay, maybe the kind of weapons like automatic weapons or whatever weren't available back then, but at the same time,
I'm all for self-defense, by the way.
The weapons. I mean, I think the general idea about it was just that the people should be able to defend themselves against an oppressive government. Basically,
Yeah.
like that's why people have the right to bear arms, so that the government can't send the military in and tell you to do whatever they say without expecting any kind of resistance at all.
But
The whole Hillary's going to take our guns and Biden's going to take our guns, even though that never happened.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah.
but surprise, people got smart and they were able to kind of like do like little bypasses or all like say like freaking I have the right to bear arms. Okay, if I decide I want to go shoot up my neighbor or something like that.
The right to bear arms does not say you can go shoot up your.
Well, no, it's not. I'm not. That's not what I mean.
That's free will.
That's not the point. But it's like they can't just take the gun away from you. I mean, yeah, they can put you in jail because you did that, but it's not solely because you had a gun.
Right. Yeah.
That's free will at that point. You're not supposed to do that, but those are those intrusive thoughts you're supposed to act against that separates you from someone who's insane, someone who's not insane.
Like people will like work through technicalities. That's kind of how most rules get kind of bent. It's like through a technicality because like since the rule doesn't like specifically say a certain thing, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's okay to do. Like I forgot what it was called, but it's like legality or not. It was legality does not like condone ethics. So they're not.
Right.
They're not.
And we should also let me just take a quick moment to say that we are 5 people who have not seriously studied the United States Constitution. So,
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, please
they
preface that. That's
they
why
could
I
probably
said I
tell
don't
just
know
like
enough
the
about
terminology we're using.
Constitution. Yeah, I don't know enough about the Constitution. That's why I was just that was a question like what would be the harm of updating it? That was my question.
All the people who don't want it updated. That's the harm. You can.
Yeah, I understand. I totally understand. I don't
know enough about the discussion to really have an opinion here. Like I don't know what the debate really is, honestly.
I'm just going off like what I assume estimates because like if you look at what happened on January 6th, that just shows like how mad people will get when something doesn't go their way, and it's like a collective of people.
There was like one person that got shot that day, and she was one of the rioters.
Yeah,
I know, but like I'm talking about the group of people that went to go attack.
She was one of them.
Yeah, she was one of them.
Yeah, she was one of them. I'm not saying it wasn't out without consequences. The fact that it happened to begin with, and we're supposed to be. It's supposed to be. I'm not. See, I don't want to talk about this because I don't.
Ashley Babbitt, that was her name.
I don't want to.
Yeah, she should have been there.
Because like all I'm saying is that like it was it was it's supposed to be a democracy in some cases, but it was not very.
Yeah, you have the right to protest. It's just you don't have the right to
You have the
break
right to
into.
protest, but there's a difference between a
Not
protest and a
that-
riot.
Yeah, no, yeah, you can't break into government property and say this is a protest. Like that's not the whole
That's
point of a
not
protest.
a protest. It's a riot at that
The
point.
It's. I mean, this is definitely like we are not the people that need to be getting into jail.
Yeah, but yeah, we're
especially when
definitely
we're almost in the next year. But that was more of a thing of like, I do kind of understand where those people were coming from because they legitimately did think that the election was stolen and that Biden was not the legitimate president, and they were trying to protect the Constitution and the country. That's a whole rabbit hole we don't need to get into.
That is
No, I think Donald Trump did say he would be there too. To their fault, that is unfortunate for them. They shouldn't have been there, but I think that was unfortunate. The whole thing is unfortunate.
I didn't know Trump said he was going to be there.
Well, he was like forming people to be there under like the
Yeah,
the
that I know. I didn't.
that
under the guys to like stop the counting of the votes.
I think he was supposed to go on some march or something with them.
Yeah, but he was.
yeah, I shouldn't say he was gonna like lead the charge, but he like heavily implied that it was like a movement that he was backing. So you're
Right.
kind of thinking, oh well, shit, he's gonna be there too.
Yeah.
All right.
Excuse me.
Let's jump off this topic and let's talk about something a little more lighter. More so, what is there? Does anyone have any vacation plans coming up?
It's fucking not working, man.
No,
I'm good on vacations.
You good on vacation? What, you spent them
Yeah.
already?
No, just my last trip. I'm good on vacations for a little while.
Oh, last trip.
Houston.
Oh yeah, that's right. The freaking Travis Scott concert.
Yeah,
You were there?
Oh,
I was there for that.
Holy shit! What? How are we just getting to this?
Yeah, I didn't even tell you guys. Oh, Aaron knew because I talked to Aaron on PlayStation, but I didn't tell the rest of you guys. I did go to that. I went by myself. I was not. I mean, like like everyone, like my family knew I was going, but I didn't go with anybody. I was
were
just
you
like,
in the
oh,
crowd, like in the middle, or like?
I was in VIP, like in the front. I didn't pay.
Oh my
for
god,
VIP
dude!
tickets, but yeah, it was the layout of that concert. I know it happened a while ago, but just for a rundown, the layout of that concert, there was a set of performers, and they had their own stage, and then Travis Scott had his own stage. So there was two separate stages. So no one performed on the same stage as Travis Scott, since he's like the headliner. It was his festival. And I've actually been trying to go since 2018 because that was like one of my favorite albums, Astroworld, but I didn't get to go because it's in Houston and I had a job at that point. I still have a job now, but planning just didn't work. So this year in May, when the tickets came out, I was like, oh, I'll just try and buy it. If I get in, I get in. If I don't, I don't. And I got a general admission ticket, which was like $475, which is insane.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that and VIP tickets were like $1,000. I wasn't paying for VIP. But yeah, I got in. I got to. It was at NRG Park in Houston. The park and the stadium are two separate places. The park is like a fairgrounds, and the stadium is like I don't know why they didn't have it at the stadium because I mean they have basketball games at the stadium. It could fit the amount of people, but there was also 50,000 people there. So I don't know. I don't know like the logistics of like 50,000 people at NRG Stadium. I don't know how big NRG Stadium is as far as that. So they had it at the park right outside, which is like this huge. It's like fairgrounds, but the whole place is like. It's like themed around like an amusement park because Astroworld is like it was an old amusement park in Houston that got shut down. So the whole like thing is like it's a music festival, but it's like there's carnival rides and there's like popcorn and like you can buy clothes and like food and this and that. So it was like the leading up to it, like I've been to Dallas before, I'd never been to Houston. That part was pretty cool. Getting into Houston, like flying in and then of course like getting my Uber and going to the place, all that was pretty cool. And then getting to the actual event, I got there at like noon. I forgot to charge my phone the night before, so I went in with like 60%. So that was my first mistake. And I'm by myself, thousands of miles from home. The entirety of the show, basically all the other smaller, well, not, I shouldn't even say smaller, but the performers who weren't Travis Scott, it was really, really good. I got to see a lot of really big artists, like Don Toliver, Roddy Ricch. Let's see. So basically,
really big artists, quote unquote.
yeah, they're huge. But I would say Travis's show started at pretty much at 8:45, and the two stages were not close by. So if you were at the other stage, the other performers, you'd have to run over there. So after Roddy Ricch performed, it was like 6 o'clock. I was like, well, let me just go over to the like Travis's stage and see if I can get up front, because I've seen Travis Scott perform a couple years back when him and Kendrick Lamar did the Damn tour. But Marcus and I went, my brother. We were up pretty high. It was still a good show, but we weren't anywhere near the stage. So I was like, let me just see how close I get to the stage. So I walked over there, and I left the other stage, and there was I shouldn't say there was no one, but like there was people who were camped out there like the entire day. But I was pretty close. I'll attach a picture just so you guys can see at some point. But there was Apple Music had cameras streaming that were pretty close to the stage, and I was right under one of the cameras. You can't see me because I'm right under it, but like I was sitting right under the camera just so you can see like how like an idea of how close I was. But 8 o'clock.
We totally believe you, by the way. We 100%.
I have a picture. I do have a picture to prove it. I'm not. I would not lie about that. But that's such an odd detail to lie about. But 8 o'clock comes. SZA is the last to perform. But most people at that point are like, well, it's 8 o'clock. Let's just start. Let's all run over at the same time. To try and everyone has the same idea. Like, oh, I'm gonna flood to the front of the stage. And when I got there, I was sitting down. I had talked to a few people that were there. Just making small talk. There's no one performing at where I was, like when at Travis's stage. I'll show you a video. I took a picture of where I was sitting. So they had like this like music playing, but like nobody was on stage. They were literally still doing like stage setup with like the pyrotechnics, like with the fire and then like the fireworks. The whole stage had like a digital background, so they were like still setting up the stage at that point. So I was literally just sitting down, just like kind of people watching and like talking to people next to me. 8:45 comes and it's so packed. Like I'm trying to figure out a way to explain it. If you were to put your hand up, you could not put your hand back down. Either hands. Like if you put both of your hands up, yeah, you could jump and you would be like frozen because everyone's moving to try and get to the front. So you could jump and you would still just be stuck in the air. And I was like, I had a couple of moments where I was just like, this is like, I'd never been to it was like my first real music festival. But that was kind of like, this is like really, really tight. Like, this is really, really close. I'm already kind of like having trouble like maneuvering and like getting my phone out. What was it? So 8:45 comes and there's on Travis's stage, there's a countdown. I couldn't see it from where I was sitting, but towards the back of the stage is kind of set up like a portal. There's a countdown and the countdown hits 0, and of course everyone's phones start coming out. So I pull my phone out because I couldn't even see because everyone's phones were out. But then he jumps on stage, and then there's the pyrotechnics, like the fire shoots up, and I was probably like 30 feet from the stage, but it felt like I was sitting in front of an oven. It was so like the fire shooting up was so hot. Like it was crazy. It was so crazy. And I was just like, how do people enjoy this? Like I like the music. Like I'm here to enjoy the music, but I'm just like, I had never been to that kind of music festival. And I'm like, this isn't fun. Like I can't move like at the start because everyone's flooding the stage thinking like, oh, like I'm gonna try and get a picture now. I'm gonna try and get a video of right under the stage. So he keeps performing, and of course everyone's still kind of like flooding, and like I'm just trying to like describe the scene. It's you're so close to the person in front of you that your chest can't expand to breathe, and so like I feel bad for saying this, but the woman who was in front of me, I kept pushing her pushing her forward when I was like trying to breathe, like trying to get my my breath right, or like after certain amounts of time when you're just like jumping and like singing along, it's like, man, like my chest, like my ribs, you can feel it in your ribs just because everyone's so close together. And I'm trying to just keep it brief because I don't want to get into like the things that were there and like how graphic it was. But people passed out. People around me threw up, and they hopped the gate, like the security gate. Like security would lift people out if they couldn't do it, but there was only so much security. People were throwing like bottles in the air and like cans into the crowd, like not even just into the air. They were like throwing it to like other sections of the crowd. it was just like, it was, I don't know. Like, I just don't get how that portion of it's fun. Like, we're all here to, everyone's here to have a good time, just listen to the music. But like, people just weren't looking out for each other. And they had announced on the flyer that there was a special guest, like with Travis performing. I didn't really know what to expect. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll just go. Maybe it'll just be like someone from Houston. And then Drake comes out. And then, of course, things just get like,
God, yeah.
Yeah, the two biggest artists on the planet are on the same stage. It was nuts. He stopped the show a couple of times because people passed out. There was an ambulance in the crowd. And it was just chaos. Like, the whole thing was just like chaos. I filmed pretty much all of Travis's set. I think there was a couple of songs I missed. But when I left, I knew it was bad. Like, just the things that I did see, I knew it was bad, but like, I had no, and like Energy Park, like the Wi-Fi is so bad there. I had no reception. And so I know Marcus was trying to reach me. I don't know if Marcus knew how bad it was. I didn't even know the extent. I knew it was bad, but like, I didn't know entirely how bad it was, just because, like everything, like everyone's moving around so much. It's just hard to get a read of like, and I'm not from Houston. So I'm like, I'm already thinking like, like I'm not even in my home, my home ground. Like, it's just, it's all new. Like, this is all, I don't know anybody here. Like, I did not see a single familiar face. And nobody I knew went either. So it was a really scary experience. So leaving there, it was around, the concert ended at like 10:12. He did end the show early. I don't know why he didn't end it sooner, because I think at 9:30 they had declared it like a mass casualty event. But the show went on until 10:12.
The show must go on.
That was what I thought. They were just thinking like, oh well, let's just keep the show going because Drake's already here. What are we gonna send everyone home and Drake hasn't performed yet? I don't know. I don't know what the thinking was. They should have ended it way earlier than they did.
Was there a point where you personally felt like unsafe being there?
Yeah, absolutely.
When was that?
I would say maybe, I don't remember how much songs he did, but it was before Drake came out, so it was maybe like 4 songs in.
Didn't you get hurt during that concert too?
I had some soreness in my ribs, but that was, and I had people step on my feet a lot, but that was, my ribs are pretty sore, but I iced them when I got back to like where I was staying. So when I woke up, it wasn't as bad, but it was I was lucky that I didn't get as injured or like I didn't get sick or anything, because people in front of me were getting sick. But the guy in front of me, that when he threw up, he jumped over the fence, and I lifted his shoes up because he couldn't get over the top of it, and he was like, "Do you want to come too?" And I wish I would have done it, but like, like in the moment you think, well, fuck it, I'm still having a good time. Like I'm good. Like I can keep going. But like, that voice in the back of your head when you get in that like life or death scenario,
your conscience.
Yeah, you're conscious, but you're like, you're not thinking in the moment. Like everyone's had that, that instance where you're having a really good time, or you're out doing something, and you get back and you're just like, I could have died, or I could have gotten really, really injured.
Got that moment where
you're like, what the fuck was I thinking?
Yeah, exactly. Like you just don't weigh it in at the moment because, like adrenaline's pumping and like, you're kind of having a good time, but you just don't know the extent of how serious, it all was. But yeah, I left. It took me an hour to get out of there because, of course, it's 50,000 people and they're all leaving at the same time. It was 11:30. I could not call an Uber, and I had 6% left on my phone, so I walked back from Energy Park to my Airbnb, which was an hour and 45 minutes away. So that was also fun, walking through these super dark Houston neighborhoods. I don't live in Houston again, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know any of it. So that was fun. I kept checking my phone, just my maps, just to make sure I was going the right way. But you just chalk it up as an experience of I'm glad I got to walk away. They canceled the show the next day, so I was stuck in Houston for an additional day, and I couldn't, there's no show to do. So I kind of just went downtown and just walked around a little bit just to get out of bed and just keep moving. But yeah, crazy. It was
that is just so many situations where you could have been like seriously harmed in that, where you're in this massive crowd full of people who are all just going crazy and trying to get out and all that kind of stuff, and then walking, like what was that, like 3 or 4 miles
Oh yeah, it was
alone in a
10
city
minute
you
drive.
don't know while it
Yeah,
was
10-minute
dark.
drive. Yeah, that was everything that went wrong that night. Probably could have went wrong, but you're not thinking. Maybe that's stupid of me, but you're not thinking like if you're at a concert and it gets crazy, you're kind of like,
No,
well,
it's
fuck
not
it. I
stupid.
already, like fuck it. I already paid for the show. Like, and
Yeah.
I'm for the most part, I'm okay. Like, I might as well just stay. But that was stupid of me. I
And
can
at
admit
least
that was pretty stupid.
In your head, you're kind of like, I'm evaluating the situation while it's happening. It's not that bad. Like, okay, sure, why not?
Yeah, like, let's just roll the dice. Like I don't even know who the special guest is yet. And then of course it unfolds, and you're just like, well, shit, I should have left because now I really can't move, and now I really can't breathe.
Man, all in all, it probably was best that you didn't follow the guy, because if you went over that fence, who knows what could happen? You could end up like most of those people there. But
yeah, I don't even
Dang.
know. I'm not even sure what happened to them. I have no idea. I didn't get anyone's number there. I didn't extend any conversation other than just small talk here and there, just saying, oh yeah, I talked to a couple people that snuck in because when I first got in, people just broke the fences down after I got in. People just did not care about
Smart people.
Yeah, but that's like with Travis Scott, that's like sort of the thing, like that's sort of like the theme that he promotes is like, oh, like we're gonna rage, we're gonna break stuff, we're just gonna fucking go crazy, this and that. But like, I don't know. It was I don't know. It was just I've been to my share of concerts before, and that was
wow, Malcolm, you spent $400+
That's-
to be in a mosh pit. How's it?
Well,
feel?
I got a
Gonna be
refund.
the one.
Oh, you got a refund, cool.
Yeah, they gave out. Well, he kind of had to. He would be super fucked up. Hey, here's this concert that people died at. You can't get a refund, and they canceled the second day, so it was just the first day of the show. And I didn't even just go for Travis Scott. Like I was looking forward to like Earth, Wind, and Fire was going to perform. Tame and Paul was going to perform. A lot of different artists. Yeah, it was good.
Oh,
good
wow.
show. Yeah, but that didn't happen because they canceled the second day. So
I mean, still, so like, it's like, what story would you rather have? Would you rather be able to tell the story of like making it through all that and getting out of it, or like, yeah, I saw Earth, Wind, and Fire the next day?
yeah, that's I would have much. I mean, that's the thing. It's like it's all hindsight. But I don't think I'm glad I went. Like I went. I think it's just like I went. It happened.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you can't plan to be at something like that. Like obviously it's a terrible tragedy for all the people who lost their lives and their families and stuff.
Yeah.
But at the same
A
time, it's like,
9-year-old
bro, I was
A
fucking
9-year-old
there.
died.
Oh.
Yeah, he went with his dad, and I guess he fell.
You got trampled.
Fucking poor parenting.
Yeah, just trampled. Yeah, he just. But that's the part I had initially.
I'm sorry, I'll apologize for that now. I don't want
That's the part I initially thought, just because it's like it's a concert. You're thinking, it's just like teenagers
Wait,
and up.
why are you bringing a 9-year-old to a Travis Scott concert in the first
But that's
place?
the thing.
I'm sorry.
Travis Scott was on Fortnite, so it's like Fortnite.
Oh my God.
No, literally.
Right, yeah, he has that.
Yeah,
He's
was,
marketing to kids. He's marketing to
Yeah.
kids. So you're thinking, well, fuck
Well,
it.
I mean, adults play
If I'm
Fortnite
going-
too, so it's not just kids.
But more
Mainly
more
kids
kids
games.
play Fortnite than adults
Yeah.
for sure. So you're thinking as a kid, well, shit. Like if my dad is going, he wasn't by himself. He went with his dad. But you're thinking, like this is someone who's marketed himself for kids. Like he had like a Nerf gun with Fortnite. Like they did kids play with Nerf guns, but it was like a Travis Scott Nerf gun.
That's
So,
some shit
I mean,
that should not
like-
be allowed to happen.
Travis Scott.
It's like a Travis Scott Fortnite Nerf gun. It was part of like the whole thing he did with Fortnite. But like
Right.
it's just I feel like that's just where it comes down to blame. Travis marketed to kids. I did see a good amount of kids there. Like I couldn't say how old they were. But I'm just thinking these kids, like they're in high school for sure. Like maybe the younger half of high school, but
Or maybe they're
there's
9
just-
years old.
yeah, or that. But it's just like at the end, like when you're the promoter, you're thinking, well, fuck it, they bought tickets, and I'm hoping. I'm not sure the entire. I don't know the logistics of setting up a festival, but maybe you're just thinking, security and medical personnel will take care of everything else, and I just have to worry about the show. But
Yeah.
that's not what happened. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't even know what happened, but yeah, it was. Long story short, I'm not going on any vacations anytime soon. I'm good. I'll be taking it easy.
Dang, Malcolm. Well, that's crazy. Well, guys, we got about like 7 minutes and 48 seconds. So there's a couple more topics I want to talk about. I didn't ask anybody. How's your all's day today?
Pretty not.
Very relaxing, easy day at work.
Yeah, it's chill.
Another day.
Yeah.
It's another day at work for everyone.
Typical Sunday.
Oh yeah, I didn't work today. It's Sunday. So.
Shoot, freaking! I know, like last podcast, I talked about how like most people don't celebrate like Christmas no more because COVID just kind of like sucked the life out of everything. But like over here, like my family, we've been just going nonstop, just trying to get like a whole like Christmas party going on here, and then it's just been like back and forth, like cause we hired like a whole bunch of floor people, painting people, and the house just kind of looks like, I don't know, ground zero. So I've been
maybe something else besides ground zero, but yeah, continue. I know it happened like 21 years ago, whatever, but still.
but yeah, so it's like it's just kind of like crazy. So I've been super busy half the time trying to get this doing like a whole bunch of things. Like actually recently we just put up a pool table, and I remember the last time we had a pool table was back when I was like in middle school. So that's kind of fun, kind of just like looking back on that. And looking back on like a whole bunch of things, honestly, all the things that I've done, whether they've been crazy or kind of like cool, those are some of the funnest times of my life. I know most people have like say I had fun times there in my high school days. For me, not really. My fun days were mostly in middle school, honestly.
High school was awesome for me. I love high school.
I
can't speak for everybody. I had fond memories, very funny memories of high school.
Yeah, high school was pretty positive for me too.
I literally don't talk to anybody I went to high school with. I talked to like you guys from grade school, and I had talked to my friends from college, but I don't talk to anybody from high school.
Choice, like because you guys split up.
Yeah,
okay.
See, I'm right there with Marcus. I didn't really much. I was like, I'm not gonna say I didn't talk to anybody in high school. I didn't like make any long-lasting connections because like in high school I was in the band. I was in the band class, and that was mostly because like before middle school I played the drums, so I figured I'll just keep doing this in high school because like it's fun. Come high school, that was like the one thing I actually liked about high school. Everything else was kind of just blah. So I mostly talked to you guys and some other people from like a summer program, but other than like no, not really anyone from high school. Because I made more friends with the teachers than I did the high school, honestly. And honestly, that paid off because I got a lot of freebies.
Whoa.
In terms,
Are you a victim?
Is this your call for help?
When I say freebies, I mean like extra time for like homework or something like that, or like I got to leave early. Gosh,
After class.
It's kind of harder to make friends. I think that or no?
What?
What'd you say?
Making friends as an adult.
Yes,
like
it's terrible. It's so hard.
Yeah, it's really complicated. Like I say friends, but I mean like people you would actually hang out with outside of whatever setting you meet them in. Like you have
no, it's like life is. It's like, well, I'm not gonna say life, but it's like it's designed where it's like you need to make friends during your early years, and then if you don't, and then those will be like your friend groups that you have to maintain, because when you become an adult, everything is either a business or an acquaintance.
Yeah.
I feel like coworkers kind of count as friends at a certain point.
If you hang out with them outside of work.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Excuse me.
But you're so busy by that point. You don't even have that kind of free time to just be hanging out with people anymore. When you get
I mean, I have a good amount of free time. It's just a lot of the people I work with
do they?
They do, but it's like it's divided into two groups of people, I guess. Where it's like there's one group of people who I would just never want to see outside of work in the first place.
Right.
And there's another group of people where it's like, okay, we're good at work, but like I don't see myself hanging out with you. Like
Coworkers, yeah.
we're
Like
just
what's
both
fun
here because we have to be here.
Yeah, it's fun here, but that's it.
Yeah.
And some of those people from like both those like groups of people are like, some of them are friends and some of them are not. So it's like when you try to be hanging out with like any of them, it gets kind of weird because now it's like, oh, I want to bring this guy, but this guy don't want to really do nothing and stuff like that.
Plus, you don't know like what, like outside of like, especially with work friends, like you don't know what you could joke about. You don't know the things you can say.
That is
You don't
true.
know.
Like,
Yeah,
like,
but those are
we,
kind of the
we
ones
could
that
do
get the
this
test.
circle,
that's true.
like this
There's
circle of
a-
friends. Like we could say whatever, but like work friends, you don't know.
One of my coworkers. So at the job I work at now, basically we have a lot of like slides of skin tissue and stuff that we sort and get to the doctors to look at with their microscopes and all that shit. And we're talking about these folders of slides one day, and I'm smelling it. I'm like, oh man, it kind of smells like an old book. And my coworker Matt, shout out to Matt, good dude. He goes, "What'd you say?" Like, smells like an old book. And he's like, "Oh, I thought you said something else, man." Okay, I don't want to know what you thought there, but all right.
I don't want to know.
And then I was just going about, whatever afterwards, and like 10 seconds later, it hit me what he was joking about. I'm like, that's the funny shit, man.
But he's playing it safe. He's like, he's
Right.
probably thinking the same thing with you. Like, damn, I don't know if I can say this or not.
Right. That's how you kind of find out like what's okay to joke about and stuff. It's just, you let it out in like little comments like that.
That's funny. Yeah, I know. With my old work coworkers, a lot of even with like past jobs, but I'd say my most recent, I don't know how comfortable I'd be like hanging out with them. Not all of them. Some of them I think I can go maybe get a drink with or something, but like
I'm gonna have to
actually,
hold
like-
you on there, Malcolm, because we're out of time now. I don't have the pro version, so it's cutting me off.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody.
All right, thanks for
Support on
joining this
Patreon so we can get
podcast.
the pro version.
Yeah, enjoy us next time where Aaron gets the pro version, and then we have longer podcast.
We could probably do Skype or something.
yeah, Skype works pretty well.
That would probably work. All right, let me end. All right, see you, everybody.